Yes.
We will pause. 3, 2, 1.
Hey, everybody.
What's up? I'm Sarah the Rebel.
And I'm OhCatrina.
And this is Woman Up Podcast. If you're new here, hello, welcome.
Hi.
How did you get here? We are a feminist, geeky podcast like to talk about, I don't know, superheroes, video games, and whatnot.
Every other Wednesday, we get together to run down all of the latest news, pick out a new awesome subject, and also give you guys some recommendations with our chick picks.
Mm-hmm. We also sometimes answer your questions at the end if they're not stupid.
Yay.
For returning fans, welcome back. And if you're listening to us on allgames.com or iTunes in the future, hello!
Hello, future people.
Hopefully you have cool robots. So we have a guest today.
We do.
Please welcome our guest, Jenni Villarreal. That was good. Yeah?
Yes.
I tried really hard.
And that extra I is simply because we're talking about Latinx, Latinos. But hey, I'm learning it too. Representation in pop culture. So we're all really excited for that.
Yes, and Jenni, you are an editor, writer, boss lady extraordinaire who's worked at Nintendo and G4. Can you tell the folks a little bit about yourself?
I can. I'm a little bit like y'all. I'm a cat lady feminist.
That's why we invited her.
That was the only qualification. Well, I had to send you that money.
What?
That's funny.
Okay.
Jenni is from the block.
She is.
I am from the block. I'm of the block.
Of, through, and within the
Yes.
block.
She's the mother of blocks.
Mother of the block.
Yeah. So I used to play video games for a living. The dream. And stuff.
Yay!
That's basically all there is about me.
Awesome.
Oh, I taught myself to read because I wanted to read comic books.
Yes.
That's pretty cool. You were like 5 and you were like, Superman.
I was 3.
Oh, God. It's crazy. Wow, I wish I had that. Now, don't tell my mom that. She's really proud of whatever age I was when I learned to read. Let's not make her sad.
So it's my biggest accomplishment to date. So
At 3, I learned to read.
And-
it's been downhill since then. So as I said, we are talking about Latinx, and for those of you who don't know, Latinx is used to cover Latinas, Latinos, and anything in between. Just because it is a gendered word, we would like to ungender that hoe. So we did. But before that, it's time for Newsflash.
We run down 3 or 4 or however many news topics we want to every week and chat about our opinions about them because you guys like our opinions so much.
That's why you watch it, right? I mean, otherwise you should just maybe stop right here.
Like, if you don't like our opinions, then I have some news for you.
Yeah, I got bad news, man. So first news is great news.
Yay!
I'll be back to the past, Samurai Jack. So, Samurai Jack Season 5 is coming. It's happening. I am also coming from the news. Also excited, excitement and slight reservation on my end. So I'm excited that they're like, we want to make a mature, cool show like we did before, but we were kind of more hampered by having to make it for kids, so he was constantly fighting robots.
Yep.
So they said they're going to make it slightly darker. Now, a part of me is excited because Samurai Jack was a dark show. It wasn't really like a happy-go-lucky show. So it's not like they're taking something that wasn't dark and making it dark. But anytime I hear that sentence, I get real nervous. Don't want another Superman.
Oh,
Batman.
no.
I don't.
You don't. No one does.
Exactly. Yeah, I am excited. I am sad that, of course, we won't have Mako around. No more Aku, so this is going to be interesting to see where they take the series, especially with a more adult angle. I'm wondering if I'm going to be scared of it, because there's going to be, like, people, so.
Yeah, it was, what they said is, now that he accomplished his goal, and now he's a little lost. And so we're going to be dealing with a Jack that has fallen off his path. We were dealing with a very controlled Jack, so I am interested to see that could be either really great or poop.
Yeah.
There's Airplane.
Hello.
Don't say hi to that. You don't know that Airplane. What if it came to my house?
Just landed in the
Pretty sure actually it's a helicopter. Catch the criminal so you can leave.
Criminals here on Woman Up.
Well, the Hey guys, do you hear about Iron Man?
Iron Man is a 15-year-old girl named Riri now, which is pretty interesting. Not only that, she's a dark-skinned black girl,
Yes.
which is really good because they're
With natural hair.
With hair.
natural hair. I have mixed opinions on them, but I feel like you should take the floor on this first.
Sure. So first, there's a big part of me that's just like, okay, are y'all doing this for the headlines now? Because you didn't hire an artist or well, I don't know about the artist. You didn't hire a writer of color. So this isn't coming from somewhere that feels very authentic to me. It feels more like they're just being like, look, we're diversity, woo, stop complaining, we don't put it in our movies or TV shows. So I more felt like, oh, you're trying to get me to care about something, and I don't care about it, so I didn't care about it. What's your opinion?
I really like her design. I feel like it's a little over-sexualized for a teenage girl.
She's 15.
She's 15, and she's also like Tony Stark's protege, so I assume that Tony Stark, having sexualized himself at 16, be like, whatever, wear what you want. So there's that. I'm excited that she's smart, and I'm excited that all this cool stuff is going on. But yeah, I do feel like this is for the headlines more than anything else. It's interesting how her story is moved because everyone was like, oh, she's going to take up War Machine's mantle because he's dead. And so it's...
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, oh, whoops, spoiler alert, comics. He's dead. So everyone thought she would go and be War Machine, but she's just so smart. She's just so powerful that Tony Stark was like, well, I'm retired.
Speaking of War Machine, real quick, apparently, I believe it was Ta-Nehisi contacted Marvel when he heard that they were going to kill War Machine and was like, hey guys, and he wrote a missive. That was the word used. Hey guys, maybe you should not do this thing because here's how it's going to be perceived. And they were like, we thought about it. And then we said, fuck it.
Yeah. My other big issue is, again, a white man is writing this book. And that's not to say that white dudes can't write about all sorts of characters and that I don't encourage that, but, like, you know, it can't be every single book. Like, it's ridiculous that, like, there are no black female writers at Marvel. None. None whatsoever.
One.
And I say this with all love to the people who I know that work at Marvel who are striving to do what they can where they can, but, like, come on, guys. Like, you can't just start throwing characters at us now. Like, we need purpose now. Like, you've done what you can for diversity, now put it on behind your scenes.
Right. Did you have any thoughts on that?
Well, it seems highly unlikely that a white dude's gonna be like, you know, whose mind I can get right the fuck outside.
Yes!
15-year-old genius.
Yes.
Easy.
Yeah.
It does concern me, and especially because Hollywood and comics writers and so many folks who are not of a specific culture often miss little things that could be exciting and interesting in the culture. For example, she is a dark-skinned woman with natural hair who's 15. That dramatically affects your life at that age. You are being treated a certain way that is different from your light-skinned counterparts or other women who have straightened hair, things like that. Like, there's all this underlying stuff that you can dive into and really make a part of the comic that I don't feel like somebody who's not in the culture is going to think to do. Especially, did y'all see the EW bullshit ass article?
Oh my gosh, where they were like, oh yeah, Zendaya could play
Oh
her.
my god. They were like, here are 7 actresses who could play her in TV. First of all, let's not even get into the fact that MCU ain't gonna put nobody in their own movie yet. They don't even have Miles Morales in the Spider-Man, and we had 25 Spider-Man movies. Whatever, I'm not even gonna touch that. What I am gonna touch is that every single woman on this list was a light-skinned or biracial woman. Why you do that, EW? It's like you and the band you not. Stop talking about black people, EW. You don't know.
Look, I am a writer, and my stories have to go through an editorial process, especially when they deal with something that big. Who vetted that? Like, who was the person who read that and was like, okay, like, I spell checked it. It's good.
They look terrible.
Like, they, like, looked at the picture of her and seriously went, yeah, Zendaya works. That totally looks the same.
Right. So, first of all, the full insult of even suggesting who could play them in a movie is because, come on, let's talk about it.
We would cap out the list.
Okay. Moving on. So we are all like, okay, it's cool to have diversity, Marvel, but you need to actually have real diversity, not this like window dressing bullshit that you're doing. Something else going on in the news is Summer Games Done Quick is happening right now. Don't leave us to go watch it.
Please go later.
Stay. Go some other time. They'll be on after this show, 2 in the morning, 6 in the morning. Just chill. So if any of you don't know what Summer Games Done Quick is, I probably shouldn't drink and do the show because I'm like, it's cool. Actually, I should also fix that in a second. Anyway, sorry, I noticed the technical thing that I need to address. So Summer Games Done Quick is it's technically annual. There's a summer one and there's a not summer one. And it is a speedrun competition where some of the greatest speedrunners of this universe play games, and they interact with the audience in that your donations will go to a specific cause. This year it's Doctors Without Borders, and you can affect things that they're doing. So for example, there may be a certain, if we reach this many donations, they'll do it blindfolded. Or this many donations for the bad ending, and this many donations for the good ending. This many donations to play with glitches and no glitches. So it really allows people watching to have a hand in helping, and it gives you a really good reason to help instead of just, oh, donate. They're like very specific like reasons to donate. So I really think it's awesome, and you guys should donate like $1, $2, 20 if you can.
Definitely. So I think that's that for Newsflash. So that leads into Chick Pics.
Hey, could you go first while I fix this thing? Do you like our sounds, Jenny?
What?
Our sounds.
Our sound effects.
I do. You guys are amazing.
We don't have an audio technician, so we just kind of go for it.
You didn't get one.
Right, we got
this.
Totally. We just make all our own noises.
We make our own sound portfolios.
Well, my first pick is something that's been a long time in the making. Like, literally since I graduated high school, this has been in the making. Animator LaShawn Thomas has just released the trailer for Cannon Busters, which is his all-new anime starring people of color, voiced by people of color, created by people of color. So it is an American anime created by American folks of color, and the trailer looks incredible. It looks like it's like Cowboy Bebop and Trigun mixed together, and it's really cool.
That does sound really dope.
Yes, so go check it out, show it some support, share with all your friends, and leave some nice comments on the video.
Well, that's really funny because I am also recommending something that can be compared to Cowboy Bebop. So I went to church while I was at VCU, my college, and there was another young churchgoer there who was writing a comic with my best friend who eventually became star-crossed lovers with because we will they, won't they? No, they won't for like 4 years. It's hilarious. Anyway, this friend is now a writer of like legit comics and wrote Kim and Kim and Tess Fowler, who those of you who are Geek and Sundry fans definitely know who Tess is. And if you're a Rat Queens fan, you know who Tess is. She is all about it. I think she's done some special artwork as well for Kim and Kim. The Kim and Kim is about two awesome ladies who are like space bounty hunters just kicking ass and taking names. One is a trans woman and the other is a lesbian woman. So we got all yo diversity in a nice little bundle, which is, of course, exciting.
I just wanted to point out that my dad is in chat again.
Shout out to Katrina's daddy.
And Dad, I will have to hold that question till the end when we answer our questions. So hold that. What do we think of the Japanese version of live action DBZ? What? Yeah, Rurouni Kenshin's great. I really like those. So yes, I believe it's my chick pick again, right?
Yes.
Okay, my second chick pick is in that tab. It's going to be iZombie Radio. You guys can follow us on Twitter. We're an all-new podcast, and by we, I mean I am part of it, part of the DCTV Podcast Network. So we're going to be kicking off soon with our first show, and Season 2 rings in very, very soon. So stay alive until then, and follow iZombie Radio on Twitter. That's more appropriate.
Oh, it's a zombie. Okay, I get it. I was like, Jamaicans don't make that noise.
What?
No. So my second chick pick is to go follow Denny Fernandez because first of all, she's funny. She's really cool chick. She happens to be Latina. I met her while filming a drunk show that hopefully one day I get to show you.
Yay!
That's the problem when you film things with like up and coming YouTube channels is sometimes it's like 4 months later and they're like, yeah, we're putting it up in a month, and you're like, that's so long ago. But that's where I met her, and then she had the DBZ podcast that I was on. She co-hosts it with Iffy, also from Geeky Century. So she has a show coming up with her and Xavier Woods, the WWE superstar, and it's going to be about anime. So I would like you to go follow her on Twitter. I posted the link in the chat, and I would like you to tell her that Woman Up Podcast told you to follow, and that you're excited for the show, however much you can fit in the Twitter cap.
Yay! And then my third and final recommendation is the Latinx Geeks Twitter account. They host a wonderful conversation every week that I think would be really cool if you guys went and followed. So give them some love! Yay!
And my last one is I Can Fall, Kickstarter for a new RPG game. Looks pretty dope. It looks kind of like Paper Mario-esque style RPG, but with rad ladies, and it's got adorable art. So I think you should check it out and see if it's something that you would like to donate to.
I have a pick.
Yes.
I want to talk about Queen Sugar.
Yes.
So it's going to be on the OWN network in September. It's Ava DuVernay, and then obviously Oprah.
Obviously, Oprah.
Obviously Oprah. And the cool thing about the show, other than, you know, women are behind it all the way, is that every single director is also a woman for all 13 episodes.
Nice.
Which never happens. Like, literally never happens. And she said, well, if Game of Thrones can have all men.
Why not?
Exactly.
I do love that when Ruth Bader Ginsburg, is that how you say her name? I always get nervous.
No,
RPG. When she was like, they were like, how many women would beat it up? She's like, all of them. What, you don't make that face when it's all men? And I was just like, oh, she got him.
So that's great. I love that. I'm excited to see that.
Yes.
When is that coming out?
I think it's like September 6th or something.
Hang on, I can actually pull that right up.
Mark
I was
your
gonna
calendars.
hit 4 different buttons instead. Okay, reason premiere September 6th and 7th.
Yes. So mark your calendars and check out Queen Sugar on the OWN network.
And I have posted a link in the chat.
Yay! All right. I think that leads us directly into our main topic.
It's time for
Heads Up, Woman Up. Yay! So our main topic.
That one, do we?
Huh?
We never have
We
a noise
didn't.
for it.
We really don't.
What's a head noise? Bop.
Yeah.
I mean that type of head.
Depending. Okay, so I'm really excited to talk about this particular thing. It's near and dear to my heart. My dad also being in the chat is pretty exciting. We're talking about Latinx, Latino representation in pop culture. And this is kind of going to be a little bit of a free conversation simply because there aren't that many major Latino creators in certain spaces like comics. Most of the time we see them get sidelined to, and this isn't even sidelining, but the artist, it's sooner to have a diverse artist than a diverse writer. And that's not to belittle the position of the artist because they're the reasons that comics exist in the format that they do. But it feels like there's a lot not going on where it should be.
Right.
So, yeah.
Agree. So I wanted to actually look into like historical stuff the same way we did with black artists and writers in comics.
Mm-hmm.
But it turns out it was a little bit harder to track down because the Latin identity is something that's kind of been weird through history.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, for sure. I did the same thing.
Right.
I was like, I don't know where to look.
Right,
And
because
where I'm looking, it's not happening.
right, because you know, if you're from Spain, you're white, right? But if you're from Mexico, okay, did anyone think to write that down? Like,
Right.
I don't know. So it wasn't very easy to research. Do you know anything about it?
Well, what do you mean, like the
Just
history?
about like more historical versus current stuff.
As far as actual Latinos creating their own thing, I mean, most of it has always been an indie like space, and that's where I really find that we're being hit hard. Like, and I don't want to say like we have it harder than any other race, but because that's simply not true. But I just find that when I apply myself as a Latino to jobs and other spaces, especially within comics, I am not sooner to get called back than a white guy.
Right.
And that's just the truth of the world around you. But the fact that it is so hard for anybody to just go, oh, Joe Quesada, or, you know, somebody to just pop someone's name off of the top of their head, especially a Hispanic woman.
Right.
Finding Latinas who write comics that are published by major publishers is absolutely impossible.
Right. And one of the other things is, too, sometimes people don't know, right? It's not as visible as an African American or an Asian person. So, like, when what is his name? Iñárritu, the director?
Oh,
from the bear movie.
Yeah.
I don't actually know how to say his name. But like a lot of people were complaining about, there was a picture of a bunch of directors. They were like, oh, they're all white men, and he was like, me.
Yeah, exactly.
So that is is one of the things is that there may just be a little element of invisibility there. But I did want to talk about. I talked with Gabriel Beristain, who was the director of photography on Agent Carter back when I was doing my Agent Carter book. And he said that the geek atmosphere in Mexico, like you said, was very indie. And that's where he first joined in because he was a huge geek, loved reading comics and everything. And specifically comics created by Mexican creators. And so there's this thriving, very beautiful and varied and in-depth indie culture in Mexico around comics and creating their own comics and their own comic movies and things like that. But we don't hear about it up here.
And I mean, like, it's not as if comics have not been a part of our culture. If you mention the word condorito to any like Hispanic person who has lived within that culture, they'll know exactly what comic you're talking about. Oh, the dirty bird. Like, that's basically it. He's a big pervert. He's a bird. So that's the condorito.
That's it. He's a big pervert. He's a bird. I like it.
Yeah. But it's so it's not like the identity of comic creation or video game creation is not something that Latinos are as a whole uninterested in, because so many of the creators I know just create art that is as varied and diverse as Latinos are.
Yeah, definitely. So moving on from that, I thought instead we could talk a little bit about some of our personal favorite Latin characters in comics or TV shows or cartoons, and feel free to share yours in the chat as well as we go. And Jenni, why don't we start with you, since we've been doing a lot of talking?
Yeah, we have. Sorry.
Can I start with an actress?
Yeah, let's go.
So Linda Carter, the goddess of all superheroine actresses, my girl.
What?
She's part Mexican.
Had no idea. See what I'm saying?
Oh, what
How
was
Mexican
part
be
Mexican?
Okay.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't even think she's all the way to half, but, we claim her.
Right. I'm at quarter Indian. We're like, we claim Wonder Woman. We got her.
Yeah,
so
we don't.
Oh, yes,
Woman,
absolutely.
So I think we won. I'm pretty sure.
Right. And there's no beating that. So I know for me, somebody that I always admired, it's a little stereotypical because he's like an evil luchador, but Bane. Because Bane was the guy who broke Batman's back. And that was such an iconic thing. Everyone went, oh, Batman's villain. The first person you think of is Joker. But people have been reading comics for a while. You also think of Bane, who was the person who really effed Batman up. And it was this touch point in this moment. And I really love that moment got to be had with somebody who's... we don't actually know if Joker's white, I guess. He could be whatever you wanted him to be.
He's got white paint on him.
Wait, could we call Joker racist? Let's discuss this next time.
Is Joker wearing white face?
Joker is wearing white face. More at 11.
It's not his fault, though.
Oh, yeah? That's the thing. You take
so
responsibility, Joker.
He's so misunderstood, everybody.
Oh, man.
I think my favorite, and this is one that I've used forever and ever, and I'm sure you guys aren't surprised, but my favorite Latino or Latinx identified character right now in comics is America Chavez. And while everyone's fighting over whether or not Peggy Carter should be Captain America, which she should, she's an immigrant. America has always, like, America Chavez and Young Avengers.
She's Miss Union Jack.
Huh?
Sorry, I ship Agent Carter as Miss Union Jack. It's a long story. Continue.
Oh, it's okay. I'm fine with it. Yeah. So she's one of the America team members types. And she's such an interesting character because her powers have to do with, like, time manipulation and
punching fucking portals into the air.
Punching portals into the air, manipulating her reality. So it's really cool to have such a powerful character who is basically every time you see her in a comic, you go like, America's here, everything's fine.
Real quick, I do want to address some of the comments. He's been drawn differently in different things, which is why I say that Joker, you wouldn't necessarily know. People could make Joker whatever they wanted. Anyway, sorry, continuing. Miss America Chavez is bae. I want to cosplay her.
Me too.
Like, I felt like I'm got a note in my agenda that says commission a cosplay for Miss America Chavez, because I can't make that jacket. I watched all the tutorials, and you have to have actual skill.
Dude, I quit making that jacket. I have a black jacket. I'm gonna do the black jacket with the flag, and then her flag top, and then a leotard.
I do love the leotard and flag top one, but I love her more the one with the jean jacket and the shorts even more. It's like, yes, I'm like, this is what I love most about Miss America Chavez is that when I first got to read about her in Young Avengers, I think you recommended that book to me. Thank you, by the way. It just blew me away that our America was somebody who looked like so many Americans.
Yes.
A brown woman. Like, that's our America, and she's not even from America, man. She's from another dimension of lesbian moms. It's really great.
But they're all like inconspicuously like Puerto Rican.
Right. It's like Puerto Rico lesbian island in space. Which sounds amazing.
Yeah, let's go.
I would go there.
That sounds like my next vacation.
And what was really great was how much of a foil she was with Loki, because Loki's like everyone's favorite character for a lot of people. He's this joke, he's this trickster, and she's just like a brick wall that he slams into over and over and over again. Or a brick wall that slams into him.
I really like their relationship because it's not romantic. It's just them butting heads like platonically.
You hit your fist together really hard.
Yeah, I'm made of steel, y'all. So yeah, I really like Miss America because she's just unafraid. Like she will be herself in front of you. She's not afraid to admit any element of who she is in front of you, and I think that honesty and that courage is really cool.
Right. I also really like Blue Beetle in Young Justice, specifically the Young Justice cartoon, because I don't really read comics that much. That are the big two. I prefer Dark Horse and Image and whatnot. But Blue Beetle in Young Justice, it just felt so good to see him being treated so respectfully and not as a joke. Because sometimes your culture is kind of a joke in comics, right? Like his best friend, the Native American who gets really tall. Like, Super Friend was like not the best.
Yeah.
So the fact that they were like diversity. Example of what happens when white men decide what diversity is. Ta-da. Like all those Batman villains. You know the ones. So I was really happy with how they handled his character. What did you guys, did you see Young Justice? Do you have any opinions on Blue Beetle?
I don't remember Blue Beetle being on Young Justice, so I must not have gotten that far. Sorry.
I was in season 2, yeah. No worries. I really liked Jaime. I thought that he was because he was given the storyline that so many like white dudes usually thrive on. He was given that angsty, who am I? Like, but his identity played even heavier into it because I feel like because he was Latino.
Right.
So he already had real life struggles to deal with on top of the fact that he wasn't really sure who he was as Blue Beetle.
Right. They did such a good job addressing poverty, addressing that sort of thing. But then, just like you said, he was I would call him the main character of the story. His story was so important to season 2's storyline. And it was very cool that wasn't the main white guy's story. It wasn't Robin's story. It's what they would normally do. So that was really cool to see.
Yeah, absolutely. There are a lot of characters I really like, but one actress that I want to spotlight, and she's super popular now, but I just can't help but mention her. Gina Rodriguez is killing it on TV. I never thought I would like Jane the Virgin, but that woman has me in love with her. That show is incredible. Like and she's always so outspoken for everything. Like it's really hard to be a person of color in Hollywood and have the courage to say like that casting director treated me unfairly and I want more parts here and more parts for my people that you guys won't give us, so I'm going to make them and I'm going to win your awards and I'm going to get your pay now because I'm doing it. And that's really what I see her.
Have my money.
Exactly. She's getting paid and she's doing it great. She's a wonderful representative of her culture, so
definitely.
Yeah.
That reminded me actually of something that doesn't get talked about as much, which is Black people who are Latinos and Latinas.
Yes.
So there's actually a really great video that I can't find anymore. So if anyone ever finds it, please send it to me. But it had folks like Gina Torres in it, and Zoe Saldana is another great example. The story of apparently in Hollywood, they don't cast Black Latinos and Latinas as Latinos and Latinas. They cast them as black.
Mm-hmm.
And they weren't allowed to go for other roles than that. So they weren't allowed to actually be their identity on television. And I feel that actually directly impacted all of our vision of what it means to be Latino or Latina, because you can't be black and also be Spanish. That doesn't exist in my worldview unless I just happen to know you, or I happen to be that, or I happen to have friends. Like, growing up in Virginia never occurred to me. Because it wasn't on TV, it wasn't in music, it wasn't anywhere.
I mean, it tells you. I feel bad for like talking so much. If you want, just cut me off.
Cut in whenever you want.
Anytime. But this is the thing about Latinos and Latinx people. We all come in different colors and different identities. If you go to Spain, the people there are white as snow. But then they open their mouths and you're like, oh, they're Latino.
We had a redhead at work, and he's like total redhead, covered in freckles, and he was like, hello, my name is Jose. And we were like, oh shit.
I don't know if you know Lucas Siegel, but like he and I are both Chilean. My dad is Chilean, and we're fairly pale. Like in summer later on, I might get a little bit of a tan, but it's just how we are. If you go to Argentina, it's very much the same. Like
even in Puerto Rico. In Puerto Rico, I pass people with blue eyes and blonde hair. I almost said that backwards, which would have been more exciting.
Blonde eyes,
right?
Blonde eyes,
blonde eyes and blue hair, and I'm like, hey girl, you a boma.
But it works on both sides of the spectrum too. Like I know so many Latinos who are also black who are not viewed that way. So where I am often viewed as a white girl, they are often viewed as black people. And the thing about it is that where I am, I get more privilege because of that. So it's just I feel like being biracial and Latino is such a double-edged sword, like for that reason. And because the media puts us on TV as like tan people, and that's it. Tan people who speak Spanish.
This is your only.
Boom! That's it. Those are your like freaking. I mean, of course I would want more representation, but the stuff like after Honey Lemon came out in Big Hero 6, she was so. I looked at her and I was like, oh, she's like Argentinian or Brazilian or something, because she had her accent. She identified that way, and it wasn't something that flew over my head. And then other people, mostly I've found not Latino people, complained about her not looking Latino, not being brown enough.
Right, and it's like, guys, so you're biracial as well?
Yes.
So we got a bunch of biracial women sitting here, and one of us is not a Latina. Which one is it?
And it's also funny because you look like it. Your last name is Rodriguez. My name's Katrina Dennis.
Well, Jenni's got that name.
Yeah,
Villarreal.
Oh, yes.
But yeah, so even, walking down the street, any of us could be perceived as being something we're not, simply because of all these representations that are put before people, leading to a bunch of awkward conversations, like the time that girl at work stared at my nose and stared at my hair, then stared at my nose and stared at my hair, and then frowned at me in confusion. I'm gonna tell you about that.
Yeah, tell me about that.
That's good. Did you have any other folks that you wanted to talk about?
Can we talk for a minute about Speedy Gonzalez?
Yes, we can. Okay, let's talk about Speedy Gonzalez.
Because truly, when I was little, it was like Speedy Gonzalez, Ricardo Montalban, the end.
Yes.
It was, well, I guess there were, but yeah, not too much out there. So.
Right. Yeah, when I was little, I remember watching Speedy Gonzalez and being like, cool, something that's not like boring. But Slowpoke Rodriguez, his cousin, who talked like this.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So that's who I identified with, because my last name is Rodriguez. So I was like, cool, it's Slowpoke Rodriguez. That's like racist as shit.
Yeah.
But that's like what I grew up enjoying and considering. This is what Mexican people are.
Oh, for sure.
Mice who are brown with accents. Some of them are lazy. What? Hollywood. Guys.
And still today that reflects on us. I mean, like there's a great video about Latinas going around and how they're cast in Hollywood. They're always the sex kitten, or they're the criminal, or like the temptress who is about to pull one over on you, or the maid. Like I forgot her name. There's one actress who played a maid over 50 times in her lifetime, and then just decided to quit because she couldn't stop. Like that was just what they cast her as. Right. She was an older Latina, and they cast her as a maid. Yeah. So.
So I want to address some of the comments because they're interesting. So Ricky Ricardo, I also remember as a young person being really excited to see them as a couple because that kind of makes family. You know, so getting like that was so long ago, and yet we haven't gotten much better about portraying mixed families.
Yes.
That's crazy to think about, right? There wasn't even color on the damn TV, and we had two different colors together. And yet now, with all of the joyful colors available to us on television screens, it's still pretty weird. And when it happens, people freak out like the Cheerios commercial.
So it's
Taco Bell Chihuahua.
Yeah, for every step forward, there's 3 steps back. But I mean, you know, I've been wanting to bring this up. I'm pretty excited about it. Princess Elena of Avalor is about to premiere on Disney Channel, and I am about to watch another children's show because it is produced, written, created, and voiced by an all Latino cast, all people of color, save for like her one white friend. Like that's like the only white person on the cast.
Right. Suck it, white people. It's your turn.
And it's really just it's a star-studded cast. So I'm excited for that. I mean, like in my favorite franchise, of course, every fucking show I have to mention it. Sorry, All Games' mom. You know, Star Wars. She doesn't even listen to us anymore. Star Wars is embracing very many Latino characters. I see Kanan as Puerto Rican because Freddie Prinze Jr. voices him. You know, we've got Cassian Andor, who's going to be a rebel leader, Poe Dameron and both of his parents, Shara Bey, who is Bey, and just so many others. Shara Bey! She was just like the defining moment of me being like proud of a Star Wars fan, being a Star Wars fan, which I've always been, but like that was my adult moment where I was like, oh, I fucking love this. This is amazing. Look at her. She's so amazing. She's impressing Luke Skywalker.
Yes. I hope you guys caught all of that reaction.
So amazing. I love her. So yeah, it's changing, but at the same time, you know, a Latina woman has not written Shara Bey's story, you know, so it's.
And do you think they'll be cast? You know, like we can read, again, this is like one of our big problems that we brought up with other things that we've discussed as far as diversity goes, is they're more willing to be diverse in books and comics than they are, and even television than they are to be diverse in movies.
Let's also, again, in criticizing my favorite thing, one of the only prominent black women on screen in The Force Awakens died. Right. So, sorry, Rip Corsella, who is amazing in Bloodline, by the way, but that in itself is telling. Like, one of the best, like, most, like, capable Imperial leaders is named Ray Sloan, and she is a woman of color, and she is not in the movies. So it's you know, we have Sam Guerrera, who is finally bridging from the Clone Wars to Rogue One, but there's just so much to do, so long to go, you know.
Do you think we've gotten better? Because we mentioned, like, okay, we already had this, you know, Ricky Ricardo and Lucy, you know, have things gotten better?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
Not at all, because there's so much more media now. So if you take the percentage, no, I think it's probably gotten worse.
It is shameful.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing, is that like we always get sidelined. We always get kind of sent to the dollar store section of every form of media.
And it's not like TV shows, for example, haven't done well, right? Jane the Virgin did amazing. The George Lopez show used to be really poppin'. What's that? The dog guy.
Oh, I hate that guy.
But his show is like the most popular animal show.
Yeah.
Cesar.
Yeah.
Like there's so many Latinos and Latinas on television that they do well when they let them have a show, and then it's not replicated in the same way that, you know, when people try to say, oh, well, they do what works for money, like, we've never found that to be true in Hollywood.
They feel like they've got one, they're done.
Right. They're like, okay, we did it. We don't have to do that for another few years.
We're good.
Yeah, exactly. We've met our quota, whatever. So it's really upsetting, and it is telling that even though, as someone who consumes media, it's like, wow, there are so many more than when I was a kid. Percentage-wise, there's even more for everyone else, you know? So, yeah.
It's especially disappointing for sci-fi, which is supposed to be progressive.
Yes!
So this is a great thing to bridge into video games. I think video games have actually done a really good job as far as putting a bunch of Latino and Latina characters in their games. They're never the main character.
No.
Anyway,
That's the only one I can
Guacamole,
think of.
which is amazing.
Yeah,
I
it's
tell you guys that all the time.
Mhm.
And also, just like I said, I actually went to a Day of the Dead celebration. I was like, oh shit, guacamole stuff. Like they're very accurate and they make you feel the love for the culture that they feel. Sorry, sidetrack. Speaking of sci-fi and video games, Mass Effect. The canon of Mass Effect states that most humans are brown-skinned. They are a type of brown. Because we have all mixed up and they looked at it and it's like, we're not going to have, these blonde, blue-eyed people. And you're very rare if you come out that light. And that's one of the points of one of their books, in fact. And it's something you maybe didn't even notice, that almost all the humans you run into in that game look like they're Indian or Latina or black. It was done on purpose. And I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Because that's where we're going, guys, whether you like it or not.
We're proof.
Yeah, exactly. Look at me.
Hello, look at all the mixed babies. Were you going to say anything about video games?
Video games?
Because you looked like you got hyped for a second.
Well, no, I think video games do even worse, actually, than television.
Oh, yeah?
I mean, because what can you... There's a couple fighting game characters.
I mean, in almost every first-person shooter.
Yeah, there's somebody, but, and then what?
But, yeah, like I said, none of them are main characters.
No.
They're just all there.
And that's... Well, because Hispanic people over-index for going to movies. They buy a lot of video games. Cater to us.
That it's an actual statistic. The last time somebody counted, black people followed by Hispanic people buy and play. Excuse me, Latina. Old school.
Sorry.
Buy and play the most video games. So not just play the most either. Not like downloading, torrenting, borrowing their friends. Spend the most money. Black people, Latinas, and Latinos, white people.
Yeah.
That is an actual statistic.
So let me ask you, industry, who are you most thankful for? I'm waiting. Do you want my money or what?
I've got to sing it twice tonight. One more time and I win a gold star.
I just want to be catered to.
Let me cater to you, because Jenni
Specifically me, though.
Oh, now you sound like normal.
Me up.
Right, now you sound like the normal geek.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't care about other people. It's for me.
Geeking is for me. My childhood was horrible, so I have to project it on everyone else.
I think that's a really great question. Curb Jerky says, as a white guy, I don't know if I should try to contribute or maybe just listen. Is that bad? It's not bad to have questions. Questions are good.
Yes.
My personal opinion is that you should A, listen. Listening is very important. And B, that you should signal boost people who are minorities, help their voices get louder.
Yes. I see so many people in my timeline arting every single thing Marvel tweets out, for example. But I rarely see things that are creations of people of color, So if you, as a white guy, do want to participate and help, share stuff. Find stuff you like by creators of color. If you run across something, like I ran across LaShawn randomly. Like I had no idea who he was, and then I looked him up, and oh my god, he's made all this stuff. And so I RT'd Cannon Busters because I thought it looked great. And on top of that, he's a person of color, and I thought that putting that out there to my 10 whatever, however many thousand followers.
11.1K.
Whatever. I thought that would help. So even if you've got a small following, just telling another friend about something that you genuinely like, created by someone of color, could really help that person out. Right. And then, of course, donating to Kickstarters where you can and stuff like that.
Support people, help people get their voices heard.
Yeah.
Kim and Kim is a great example. I'm not a trans person. I don't know how to speak on trans issues, but I can share trans people's work and help it get seen by more people. And so many other awesome comic writers and artists are doing the same thing. It's pretty amazing to watch because, like I said, this is my friend from college, and to see all these other really awesome people that I respect and admire being like, hey, you need to get this comic. Hey, you need to get this comic because it's not one of the big two, and otherwise you're not going to hear about it. Did you have any other thoughts on that question?
No.
Nothing. Thank you. The court rests, Your Honor. And it's not that you can't include diversity in your own work as well. Yes. Please don't ever think that. It's just do a great job researching, and hey, crazy idea. Find an actual person of whatever you are trying to represent and run it by them. Like when EW posts articles about hairstyles, they should really have just pulled aside the nearest black woman and said, can you just look through this real quick and make sure I don't sound crazy? And plus, you might get some cool and better ideas from that. I saw a really great article about it once that was like, how do you write about diversity if you are not yourself one of these races and everything. And if I find it, I will share it in the link of this video, and I'll tweet it out again. But it does a really great job of explaining tactics like that you can take.
Yeah. So always just help. Yeah, that's the best thing you can do. I think that almost brings us to the end. Are there any recommendations of Latinx shows or creations that you guys would
things
like
that
to?
are currently going on.
Yeah.
Any artists we should check out? Comic writers, lines.
Well, right now, as I said, Princess Elena of Avalor is coming to Disney Channel. So if you have nieces, nephews, sons, or daughters, get them tuned into it. It's great. Give them really good ratings, and hopefully that'll continue. Because that's a really big move. Like it is so rare that, and this is not to criticize again too much, but it's so rare that you see an all Latino teen working on a Disney product. And I know I feel sidelined because she's a TV princess and not a movie princess, but I want to empower them because I want to show Disney how much I want that on screen. You know, so yeah, go check that out.
Yes. Wow, the fact that we don't have more recommendations is really telling, guys.
And there's that one character on The Flash.
That guy was
Cisco.
Vibe.
Yeah, Cisco.
Oh, it's so hard to watch The Flash, though. I'm sorry. Not at all. The beats of that show are just horrible. We have a very dangerous thing. How are we going to defuse it? Next beat. We have diffused it. Next beat. Let's party. Next beat. Everything has gone wrong. Next beat. We have resolved it. Like, cool.
I come for the Joe tears. I come for a black father crying
So frustrating.
over his babies. That's what I watch. I don't know. But yes.
Dang, Ryan Wood has been timed out for 600 seconds.
Goodbye, sir.
Not 1 second, not 2 seconds. 600. What'd you say? You talk about boobs? Yep, he talked about the boobs.
Oh, he's too stupid to realize angles.
Yeah, God, man, you're just extra dumb.
Extra dumb.
I'm sorry, it was such a stupid question. Okay.
So I believe that wraps up our show today. We're actually ending on time. This is crazy.
Oh my God.
But before we head out,
Hell yeah.
yay! Before we head out, we are opening this up to Q&A. So if you guys have any questions you would like to ask us about our topic today or just in general, now is the time to put them in chat because otherwise we will not answer them and just leave.
We'll just
leave.
Turn it right off.
Oh, what's your problem?
I'll turn his car around.
As I
I'm not surprised that Katrina's dad is out nerding Derek because Derek's a fake nerd.
My dad had asked, what did you? I can't remember now. What did we think of new Rurouni Kenshin?
Okay. So he said DBZ and Rurouni Kenshin live action. DBZ is terrible. Don't ever watch it. Pretend it doesn't exist. The live action DBZ should be taken out back and shot for its own good. Rurouni Kenshin, on the other hand, so good. There's no reason for these two movies to be as good as they are. But so the first few scenes you're watching, you're like, oh my God, this is gonna be a little over the top. This is weird. He's like way too funny, and this like everyone's dying, and he's like, cool, like he's making that face. And within like 15 minutes, you were all invested. It's just really good. It's got all the action and quirkiness and cuteness of the show. Like, that's how you should bring an anime to live action. Like, they should just write a book for all the other terrible movie ideas.
What are our new thoughts on the new Star Trek movie? I'm excited that Jeremy Lin is behind it. That's gonna be really cool.
I'm really excited for the movie personally because it seems from the trailer to be doing the thing that I love the most from Star Trek when I used to watch it as a kid was going to planets, going where we've never been before, experiencing new cultures, danger, somebody's getting left behind when we teleport up. Maybe it's a red shirt. I don't know. So to me, it's giving me all of those vibes from my favorite episodes. So I'm really excited for it, and I hate that people are hating on it. What do you think?
Oh, people are hating on it?
Yeah, especially because of the music they use. But people are like, it looks stupid, it looks dumbed down, it looks like it's going to be whack.
Dumbed down? Yeah. From what?
From outer space, I guess.
I haven't seen it.
Like, we all love Galaxy Quest, right?
Yeah.
Galaxy Quest took all of our favorite things from Star Trek and put it into a movie. So the fact that I'm already getting like Galaxy Quest vibes, except not funny from this movie, tells me I should be excited.
Yes. Any novels to recommend? Actually, it's very funny that you asked that. Next week, Star Wars Aftermath Life Debt comes out. It's the second installment in Chuck Wendig's first post-Return of the Jedi book series. It stars Nora Wexley and Snap Wexley, who later grows up to be a rebel pilot, and he's played by Greg Grunberg in the movie. So really cool, compelling story. This next book is going to go into Han paying back his life debt to Chewbacca. So Kashyyyk is in trouble. Han gets the message, and he makes a difficult decision to go off of his path that his wife has assigned him and go help his best friend. So it's going to be a really, really fun adventure with the new characters, with Shinji Rath-Velis, who is one of the first new...
These names just roll off your tongue.
Amazing. Yeah, I read
pretty
way
good.
too much. He's an Imperial who is also a homosexual, and also the best fucking character because he's so bitchy. But not in like the gay bitchy
Like
way, but
in-
the Imperial bitchy way.
Ray? Oh, okay.
No,
Well, like,
he's like an Imperial bitchy person. So,
gotcha.
and it's really, he's always got the greatest lines. So it's a really good team, written by Chuck Wendig. Get used to reading present tense because that's what this book is written in. Yeah, it's interesting. But it's a great story regardless. So I'm excited for Life Debt, which comes out next week. And then Empire's End was just announced for January. So
Enough about your Star Wars bullshit.
that was...
I'm going to recommend a book to you. I'm going to recommend 2 books.
Woohoo.
Spirits Gate and Black Wolves, both by Kate Elliott.
Yay.
So I picked up Black Wolves because it's got a hot Asian guy in the front cover with a sword, and I guess I'm basic, alright? Sue me.
Mhm.
Anyway, turns out this is actually a secondary series to the Gate series. So once I finished it, and I was like, well, I need the second book. Let me just go read another Kate Elliott book instead. And I pick up Spirits Gate, and oh crap, we're in the same world. It was very shocking to me. And it explained a lot of the things that I thought were just mysteries that we would never get to know from Black Wolves. So I recommend both of them. But this entire world is based on the whole Asian side of our world. So everybody is either Cambodian or Indian or Japanese or like Mongol, like it's not set on our world. It's set in a different world. But there's like 2 white people in it, and they're both slaves. So it's it's got this diverse cast, a completely different world and god system. It's full of mystery. Like you won't be able to put it down. I read it until 5 a.m. one night because it's me.
I don't read books.
We're
I'm too
both
busy.
readers.
I'm sorry. I got a baby, you guys.
I got a baby. You think I got
Fair
time to
enough.
sit down and read a
Her
book?
books are like
Time
one
vampires,
fish, 2
you guys.
fish.
They are.
Wait, somebody tweet me that babies are little time vampires so I can retweet it.
Also, he's 8, but
Okay, fine.
they get worse when they anyway.
They get worse as they go.
Don't have kids.
Yay, good advice.
You heard it here, Brick Patrol.
2 quick Star Wars questions. Thoughts about a female lead for Rogue One? It was cool, but I wish he was a person of color. Darth Vader in Rogue One. Yes, he's going to be in Rogue One because his presence overshadow the lead. No, I don't think so, because Darth Vader wasn't in trouble until the Death Star blew up. So whatever happens in Rogue One is not going to be his fault. So, yeah, it's going to be that other guy.
I do think it's funny that it's like, oh, female lead in Rogue One. It's like I saw 2 ladies in that trailer and I saw like 18 dudes.
Yeah, it's cool that the ladies actually talk to each other,
Right.
but also it's like,
Yeah.
put Ray Sloan in Rogue One.
We could have had like one other woman. I mean, shit. The
So-
quiet best friend woman. You know the one that they include to support
Why
the
don't they
lead
just make
badass.
Lost Stars a movie? Like,
They would. It was so good. Oh, if they made Lost Stars into a movie, I would force you all to go to the movies.
Okay. So, yes, I think that's about it. It's 8:59, which means we need to wrap up. But thank you all so much for tuning into Woman Up Podcast again this week.
Our next show is July 20th.
Woo.
Follow at Woman
Wait
Up
a
Show.
second. We're going to be at Comic-Con.
Are you going to be at Comic-Con then?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going for Wednesday.
I'm not going for Wednesday. Do you want me to do it on my own, or do you want us to skip it?
We
We're
might
deciding this right now, everyone.
we might want to skip this next one unless we want to do a Renegade podcast special at Comic-Con and then do an extra show the next week. I'd be down with that.
So, AKA, we don't know when you're going to
We
see
don't
us next. We're going to talk this over. We can be found at Woman Up Show. Please follow us because we had to create a new account. It doesn't have as many followers as the old account still. What are you guys doing?
Where are you guys?
Fake followers. We also have a YouTube channel. You could just type in Woman Up Podcast in the YouTube search and it'll show right up. Jenni,
Yeah.
how
Hi.
can we find you?
Lately I've been working the corner. Sorry.
Look, she's got a kid, you guys. She has to provide.
They're expensive
provide.
too. I don't know.
I bet
You guys don't know. Chickytown at Twitter and also on the Instagrams. Although I only post stupid pictures, so I don't know why you'd want to follow that, but have at it.
Curb Jerky, real quick, my favorite poems are all by Rumi and my own poems, because I'm selfish.
My favorite poems are all by my Willow.
Okay, so Chickytown, go follow her because she's really, 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 really dope, and I really like this lady. And I'm not just saying that because she's on my couch, but I mean like, full fucking real. Like, she's invited to my barbecue and shit. It's my homie.
It's true.
Anyway.
Yeah, you guys can find me online at OhCatrina, OhCatrina, pretty much anywhere. You can add my YouTube channel because I'm actually posting videos again. I promise. I posted a brand new Disneyland video, and next week you guys are gonna get a Sailor Neptune like lookbook, so it'll be really cool. And that's about it. It was so pretty.
I'm Sarah the Rebel everywhere.
Yes.
Like Pinterest, Twitch, you name it. I'm there. Sarah the Rebel.
Sarah with an H, the way God intended.
Yes, sir. So you can listen to this later on, or tell your friends to listen to it at allgames.com/whup. Shout out to allgames.com. They recently let me model a shirt, so you should go to their site and look at me modeling a shirt because I'm so fucking pretty. And you can also listen on iTunes. If you go to iTunes and search Woman Up Podcast, we pop up, and give us a 5-star rating so we can become legit.
Put us on the front page of iTunes, because I've seen podcasts that started like yesterday who get to the front page.
Yeah, you guys don't love us.
Help us out, guys.
Perfect. I'm gonna, emotionally blackmail you right the fuck now. You don't love us enough.
All right, well, we will announce when our next show is very, very shortly. And until then, we shall see you. And remember to party down.
And woman up! Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Time for my butt. Time for